So this is Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's a kind of RPG light for kids, based on the popular American cartoon series. You play as this little bald kid with a stick who whacks animals and the rival firebenders. He has some wind powers, but they're a bit kind of pernickety to actually kind of activate. So we're just sort of whacking the heads of these wolves in with a stick, which isn't particularly sophisticated. This is Call of Duty 3. It's the other sort of big rival first-person shooter to Red Steel at the moment. It's quite a good-looking game for the Wii, and it's nothing compared to the other sort of next-gen versions of the game. Control-wise, it's slightly different to Red Steel because you can't move the gun into sort of far corners of the screen. It's a lot more limited, sort of invisible box in the centre. The action's a lot more kind of just sort of gun and run forwards. There's not sort of kind of individual one-on-one gun battles, but it's okay, you know. Here's Cooking Mama Cook-Off on the Wii, the Wii version of the DS original.
Obviously greatly improved. Lots more things you can do, realistic foods. It's a bigger and better cook-off.
It is, or a bigger mama.
Yes, bigger mama, bigger cooking.
Bigger kitchen.
Everything. Yeah.
With the Wii remote, you can do all these kind of new actions which weren't previously possible with the trusty stylus on the DS. And you will be icing cakes, chopping, prodding, stirring, mixing.
Anything you can think of. Gutting squid, which is a particularly disgusting task.
Grating cheese.
Yeah, you can cook worldwide dishes. Make food, not war.
And this two-player as well will make it a proper cook-off.
Yep.
So, yeah, if you're a fan of the original,
yeah, look at that. Red food
appeal.
That you can smash food. You can burn food.
Oh, a delicious burger.
Yes, it's got the lot. This is Dragon Ball Z, or Z if you prefer, the insanely difficult cartoon beat-em-up. The reason the characters punch in the air right there is because this is Matthew playing, not me, and he's absolutely atrocious at games. But if you're actually any good at it, you kind of lock on to the other player and you sort of wiggle the remote a bit, and it's really hard, but it's very good fun, very good.
Okay, this is LEDs, formerly known as LED Bits in Japan. Really good, a bit like PS2's Katamari Damacy. You're just throwing bigger and bigger objects in order to find the little electricity guys, the LEDs themselves. Full-featured level editor, you can swap levels with your buddies over Connect 24 as well. So yeah, I think this is really good value and a great little game, lots of fun.
This is Excite Truck, which is strangely nothing to do with the Excite Bike games, but is a kind of bizarrely floaty sort of trucking game that's loads of fun, but lasts maybe 2 hours, 3 hours before you've actually seen everything it's got to offer, which is, you know, not really right for a £40 game, but it is loads of fun, as you can see.
So Far Cry was pretty good on Xbox and PC, I think, but it was completely ruined for the Wii. You can see the pop-up on the scenery there, which is dreadful. Just technically, it looks incredibly shoddy, plays very badly, and yeah, it's just what could have been a very good first-person shooter has turned into not a very good first-person shooter. So you're better off with Red Steel, Call of Duty, really.
This is Fire Emblem for the Wii, the follow-up to the popular Fire Emblem on the GameCube?
I believe it was fairly popular, yeah.
In kind of role-playing, turny battle circles?
Yeah, it was more of a sort of a hardcore game, I think. It got a lot of fans among the connoisseurs, but it's not mass market sort of thing, but it really is, it's a good strategy, turn-based kind of fighty thing.
And it's
Advance Wars, except you keep your units in between different battles, and you kind of level them up and stuff.
And it's, if anything, it's going to be slightly more hardcore than the original, in that it's a bigger game. As you can see from the cutscene, it's got a lot more kind of realistic, gritty feel to it. Out with the sort of hand-drawn, cartoony cutscenes, in with this kind of sort of Lord of the Rings-ish kind of stuff.
Yeah, it does the epic battles pretty well. Although you never get this many units on screen when you're actually fighting. In the game, it's
I don't think you'd want to. I think that'd be a bit emotional.
Yeah, well, you'd never remember their names, would you?
And it's all very sweet at the end of the day. That's what you're fighting for: the innocence of a small bird
and a girl with blue hair.
Alright, this is GT Pro, which is easily the worst racing game on the Wii. It's an updated version of GT Cube on the GameCube, and yeah, just the controls are in this really. It's incredibly hard, even though it comes with the free plastic wheel. It's incredibly hard to control. You're just generally bashing against the sides and bashing into other cars. Just like that. Yeah, not worth bothering with.
This is Heatseeker, the afterburner-ish kind of air combat thing, which uses the nunchuck quite well in a similar way to SSX Blur. So you're kind of tilting it and tipping it like a flight stick, while you use the remote to select targets and fire all your weapons. This isn't the most exciting bit of footage, to be honest, but when you're in the game, it's totally arcadey. You know, you're just racking up kill after kill after kill after kill, getting all these combos, watching things exploding kind of slow motion. Planes look really good. They're really nicely modelled. There you go, that's impact cam. So the camera kind of follows your missile if you've got a lock on, and you're guaranteed kill. And you get to see the explosion from various sort of dramatic angles.
It's the much talked about impact cam.
It's the only thing anyone talks about with this game, I think. And you can turn it off. You can turn it off and skip it if you don't want. If you don't want your battles.
Is it really that impressive?
It's all right. I mean, it's nice to look at the explosions.
Battle?
Well, I like that kind of thing because in like Burnout, was it Burnout 3 Takedown, where you have a similar kind of feature. And you get to see the cars crashing. You think it would kind of take you out of the action, but it doesn't actually. It's nice to look at. It gives you a sort of little break, and it works well in this as well. So I wouldn't turn it off personally, but you can if you just want to go like bang, 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 shoot everything down, and not have to look at all the little bits falling to earth. You don't have to.
A lot of variety, sort of mission-wise. Because from what I've seen, there seems to be a lot of kind of sort of shooting down.
Well, there's some boss levels later on, actually, towards the end, where you have to take down bits and pieces of various kind of ground-based installations.
Right.
Fly under radar cover, like shoot out the outer defences to take down force fields and stuff like that. And you get tanks with lasers on them, which is
tanks
cool.
Tanks with lasers on them?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, and look, there's an oil rig there.
You blew up an oil rig?
Yeah, you blew up an oil rig. You don't even have to think about the environmental consequences.
Is there a baddie on the oil rig, or is it just for the hell of it?
Just for fun.
There's poor oil rig men. Oil riggers? Oil rig men.
Poor guys. This is Ice Age 2, in which you play a squirrel-rat combination in prehistoric Ice Age times. And the aim is to collect little shiny things from all around the levels. And if you like the film and you like collecting shiny things, and you like playing as a squirrel rat with a horrible face, this is the game for you, but not if you're older than 10 years old, I think.
It's Cora Impar. This is more Chrissy's department, really, but she's not here, so I'm left to explain this kind of, it's sort of Monkey Ball-esque. It's based on the, reminds you of the old Labyrinth toy, just guiding proper marbles and pandas around the proper sort of 3D mazes. And yeah, you can tip the thing completely over, so it's a little bit more, can be more difficult and a bit more involving than Monkey Ball in a way.
This is Marvel Ultimate Alliance, based on sort of all the different Marvel franchises brought together for a bit of, sort of running around and punching lots of baddies in the face. A bit kind of like Gauntlet, sort of top-down, fighting lots of endless hordes. Wii controls are a bit fiddly. You're sort of waving the remote about to activate special attacks. It's kind of easier to bang away at buttons, really. If you're into the kind of comic books, it's great because it's just absolutely packed with just about every sort of hero you could possibly sort of care to play as.
This is Medal of Honor Vanguard.
The not Medal of Honor Airborne, as we originally thought we'd be getting. We were expecting that, but it turns out that's only for the other next-gen consoles. Instead, we're getting our own, very own, well, sharing with the PlayStation 2 version of Medal of Honor, sticking with the parachute mechanic that they're employing in Airborne, in which you drop down at the beginning of each level from a plane, and you get to choose where you land, and this affects the kind of strategy of your battle. So you can kind of outflank the baddies from the off, or you can land with your team, and you'll have that kind of increased firepower. This is looking pretty good. Looking forward to that kind of floating around stuff. That's going to certainly jazz things up a bit, and have that little extra something that Call of Duty 3 perhaps lacked. And that was because that was a bit sort of by the numbers Call of Duty. This looks slightly more off the wall.
Well, hopefully they'll sort out the aiming with the remote, so it won't be too fiddly.
But oh, look at that! It does look exciting.
It does.
Need for Speed Carbon. This one's quite good. The actual game itself is fine. It's quite kind of glossy, fun street racing, kind of doing your cars up with all these sort of fancy bits and bobs. The only downside is you just simply cannot control it with the remote. It's horrible to control, steering all over the place, and you have this stupid oversteer button, which if you don't use, you lose. If you do use, you skid all over the place. Yeah, you really have to wrestle with it, so it's not much fun.
So here we got Prince of Persia, which is a Wii remake, I believe, of Two Thrones, with all new controls and some other unspecified changes, which I don't know about at the time of recording this commentary. As you can see, it's motion control based, which is what you'd expect, really. I haven't played it, so I couldn't tell you whether this works better than using a D-pad or not.
I think it's a slight shame in the way they went with Two Thrones as opposed to original Sands of Time. If I want to be playing a Prince of Persia.
Well, I think the combat was a bit better in the later ones.
I suppose, yeah, you had the kind of whip chains, a lot more variety.
Yeah, but then it all went a little bit kind of rock and roll.
Like that.
Yeah. Dark Prince. But these games are great. I mean, that's one thing you can be pretty well sure of, even if you might complain that they're not as good as the last instalment.
This is Red Steel, the first-person shooter from Ubisoft. I think this is a really good game. The actual control in that you can shoot anything on screen means that, if you are shooting someone, it's simply down to you. There's no kind of sort of funky auto-aiming going on. You feel like you're in control, and there's a lot of sort of cinematic sort of thrills to be had, and quite a lot of big action set pieces. A lot more kind of choreographed than Call of Duty 3. And the sort of sword fighting, the settings are all quite sort of exotic and fun. So yeah, this is worth a play. So this is Sonic and the Secret Rings, Sonic's first outing on the Wii, and it's a pretty good one at that. Well, it's very good, in fact. I really thoroughly enjoyed playing this. You've got this kind of running along a sort of set track, which some people think is going to be incredibly limiting, but they managed to milk so much out of it in terms of the reruns and different objectives. And you have to sort of adapt the skills which Sonic has. He's got a limited number of abilities, and you have to choose them for specific levels. And it looks absolutely stunning when it's going really fast in full action. This is a real sort of treat.
This is Splinter Cell Double Agent, also out on GameCube. You get a few sort of added Wii controls for this, like sort of door unlocking is more Wii interactive, but otherwise basically the same game. To be honest, you're probably better off just buying a GameCube version and playing that. There's not a great deal extra, and what there is doesn't really add to the game, and in some cases makes it a bit clumsier, so not really recommended.
So here's SSX Blur, which is a kind of remix of multiple SSX games. So you got little bits of On Tour, SSX 3, but with the Wii controls, it's absolutely superb. It really, really works well because you're never kind of just skiing or snowboarding straight along. You're always correcting your position by tilting the nunchuck, and I don't know, there's something about that just feels more satisfying, and you're more connected with the snow than you would be if you were just flicking the little
Sounds
thumbstick.
quite spiritual.
Well, I don't know, there's something kind of physical about it, which you don't get out of controlling the game in the normal way.
It looks great as well.
Yeah, it's really nice looking. It's 60 frames a second and load of different effects going on and stuff like that. So it's a lot better looking than the GameCube ones were. And you can ski backwards.
Is it radically different content-wise to the GameCube version?
No, I mean if you played about the last two GameCube versions, you've probably seen all the courses that are in this. But I recommend doing it again just for the Wii controls, because it's so nice to do the tricks and steer with the paint and everything on the screen. There's an Uber trick, you see, which was like a motion thing. It's great.
This is Super Fruitful, the fun fruit tumbling game. Basically, you're moving these puzzle boards left and right, and all the fruit drop or fall as they would. You group them together. That's about it. Was a free online flash game, was a mobile phone game. Hasn't really changed at all from that game. This is pretty dreadful.
This is Monkey Ball on the Wii, which is fantastic. Superb game for the Wii. It's packed with party games, and the one player is just ace, especially if you've got loads of people to pass the controller to. This is a bonus level, and the reason this is here is because Matthew couldn't last more than 30 seconds on any of the other levels without falling off. But I assure you, there are better parts in the game.
This is Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam. It's not a particularly good sort of Tony Hawk's game, compared to the sort of Pro Skaters, which had a lot of depth. But as a sort of fun SSX wannabe, it's really not that bad. Just sort of racing down these crazy long tracks with all these sort of mad shortcuts, huge jumps. You bang away at the buttons to do special tricks. It's got a really irritating cast of racers and skaters that you play as. these sort of larger-than-life comic personas, which are stupid. This is WarioWare Smooth Moves. Everyone knows WarioWare, the short little mini games, 5 seconds. You do one crazy action to complete them and move on to the next. In terms of using the remote, it's fantastic. It employs just about every sort of bit of movement you could possibly sort of want to sort of demonstrate what the remote can do. Multiplayer is pretty disappointing, but it's still really funny, and there's a lot to see here.
All right, so We Play's a good little collection of mini games. It's very cheap if you buy it with the Wii remote, so it's good fun. I can't help thinking it was originally intended to be part of the package with Wii. The games are so basic, but a lot of them, you won't play more than once. This one's quite entertaining. We've got quite into the Pose Me game as well, where you're spinning the character around to fit in bubbles. It's worth a look, and you need another Wii remote, so go for it.
This is Wii Sports with a spot of boxing, which I think everyone in the Endgamer office found to be the least rewarding game out of what's genuinely a pretty good selection. The two characters you see here are Endgamer's art editor, Paul, and his mother. And I can't remember who won at the end of it. I think his mum put him down, actually, and spanked him a little bit. Go on, Paul.
This is Wing Island, the fun chicken biplane game, sort of floating around doing Pilot Wings-ish kind of missions, taking pictures of whales, dropping confetti on things. The plane controls, it's mapped pretty tightly onto the remote, but it sort of responds to instantly to your movement, so it never feels like a real plane. It's okay, nothing special.
Okay, so Twilight Princess doesn't need much introduction, you probably got it already, but it's fantastic. It's probably the best Zelda game we've played. I'm sure we'll be arguing about that forever, but it's just really slick. The dungeons are fantastic. It's kind of like, it goes back to the kind of Ocarina of Time style Zelda. So we missed the kind of cel-shaded, cartoon shaded visuals in a way, but it's Zelda, you must have it. This is an interesting one. It's Apocalypse, which is the sequel to Mega Apocalypse, which you might remember if you remember the old 8-bit days. It's kind of a cross between sort of Asteroids and Gyrus. I never know how to pronounce these games. It's a pretty interesting little space shooter, and for the SNES or Super Nintendo. And never made it to the shops. This one's dead cute. It's Buzz and Woldog, which is a Japanese-developed platformer for the NES. Graphics are really, really nice for the NES, and never made it to the shops. It's so cute. It's the kind of thing you might imagine Taito or even someone like Nintendo doing. It's your traditional kind of platformer, jumping on bits and bobs. Reminds me a little bit of Wonder Boy, actually. Those little snakes that you can see there. But yeah, just really slick. Very, very nice for a NES platformer. Very big, chunky visuals. And never made it.
So this is Conker's 12 Tales on the N64. It was going to be this cutesy little kind of platformer from Rare. Instead, they decided to adult it up and turned it into Conker's Bad Fur Day, which so quite different from this. This is a trailer for Dead Phoenix. It was one of the 5 Capcom exclusive GameCube titles, along with Resident Evil, Beautiful Joe, Killer 7 and PN03. It was cancelled, it never got released on GameCube. So this is Dinosaur Planet, originally planned for the N64 from Rare. It was eventually became Star Fox Adventures on GameCube. The change mainly occurred due to the fact that it came towards quite the end of the N64 lifespan, and they sort of figured that it would be better on GameCube. Plus the whole change to the Star Fox franchise and eliminating these original dinosaur characters. But you can see a lot of the game still remains as it was on the N64.
General Scale, ruler, tyrant, and dictator of the Shopclaw tribe. And who might you be, animal girl?
My name is Crystal, and I've come for the princess. Go, Kay.
So this is Rare's Donkey Kong Racing. It was planned to be a GameCube title. It was going to be the sequel to Diddy Kong Racing, the N64 title. As you can see, it's kind of you couldn't really tell what the game was going to be like from this video, but it was going to be a sort of slightly bigger version of that smaller title. Not to be linked in any way with DK Bongo Blast, which will hopefully be coming out at some point later this year.
So yeah, poor Earthbound, or Mother 3, as you might better know it. This is basically an N64 game that became a Game Boy Advance game, but took 7 or 8 years to do it. So what you're looking at here is the N64 version, which I don't think anyone really ever played. It was demoed like this, very early days of the N64, by the guy who did the original Mother, or Earthbound as it was known in the States when it came out on the SNES, and it was also available on the NES in Japan. And yeah, it looked brilliant. And basically, this game did become the GBA game. All the characters, the kind of scenarios and everything. Yeah, it was all there, just on GBA. And we reviewed it in the last issue of NGC magazine, our spiritual forebear. And yeah, it was pretty good. This is Fireteam Rogue, a SNES game that never made it, Super Nintendo. It's kind of like a sort of superhero platform in a way. One of the characters is a cat-stroke-monkey-stroke-alien ninja, which is interesting. And yeah, they claimed like 100 hours gameplay. Looked okay, but personality conflicts apparently dogged the project, and it was they basically decided not to continue development of it, even though it looked all right.
Another mysterious disappearance. This was Kirby Adventure on GameCube. This video was released, but very little else is known about the title. So this is a early video of Raven Blade on the GameCube. It was going to be from Retro Studios, who made Metroid Prime, but was sacrificed for Metroid Prime as they needed to free up Retro resources to make that game. So goodbye, Raven Blade. Now this one's a bit of an oddity. It's Rebirth on the GameCube. Now to say that this was a game that never was is slightly false, in that it was never intended to be a game. Shown at the Space World in 2000, this was a tech demo for the GameCube, which a lot of people thought might actually be a game, because not much was known about it. But then Mixcore, who made it, came out and said no, it was a GameCube. But it was still quite a big deal, because it sort of showed what the GameCube was capable of, and there was always speculation about whether or not this was running in real time on the GameCube, or if it was this sort of pre-rendered thing. So it's, you know, it has its place. Not a game, but an important piece of GameCube history.
So, I mean, this is the main one we wanted to show you on this DVD. This is Star Fox 2. Now, a game of Star Fox's kind of caliber and Star Fox's kind of reputation, you would expect to have a sequel on the Super Nintendo, and indeed, there was one, and this is it. It was, to all intents and purposes, pretty complete. This is the team at Argonaut in the UK who were creating it. And, you can see some new characters there at the bottom. And this level select is obviously only part of the kind of test cartridge. But it never made it to the shops. Whether that was because Nintendo kind of shifted focus to the N64, whether they just weren't sure about the gameplay, no one knows. But what's really interesting is that all this time since we've been talking about Star Fox 2, does it exist? Then then someone finding the actual game and people playing it, people doing their sort of homemade translations for it. Now, Star Fox Command on DS is essentially Star Fox 2. Had the same programmer, the guy who led Star Fox Command was one of the guys working on Star Fox 2. And he's obviously brought a lot of the mechanics back. You're kind of travelling across a map. There's a bit of a kind of strategic element. So you can see a lot of what would have been on the Super Nintendo on the DS version. And but would have been great to sit on the SNES as well. Plays really well. Not many people know about the Star Fox competition cartridge that was created for the Super Nintendo. It was used in America and it was used in Europe as well as part of a sort of live league of Star Fox players or Nintendo players. They'd put this little demo in shops and then they'd see who could get the best score on it. As you can see, there's a counting down in the corner, which you didn't have in the original Star Fox. And the person who got the highest score got, I think it was a kind of bomber jacket, a leather jacket, and a certificate. So it's a kind of interesting little curiosity, and there are people out there who are buying and selling this Star Fox competition cartridge. If you like to look at this, you can of course play the original Star Fox in WarioWare Smooth Moves at the moment. Just a little sort of snippet from it. Sunman was by Sunsoft, created in 1992 for the NES. I think it was basically finished and never made it to the shops. As you can see, there's a very definite superhero Marvel style theme to all this. It's pretty slick. Looks really good for the NES as well. I'm not sure about the gameplay. Looks a bit dull, a bit repetitive. Those kind of side-scrolling beat 'em ups. We saw a lot of these back in the 90s. But didn't make it to the shops, and some man never saved the day. Hi readers, Greener here. I am going to take you through some of our favourite internet sites. You've got your Opera browser, I hope, still free, still trial version at the moment, but there's loads of websites out there. You probably know things like Google and YouTube and Flickr for pictures, that kind of thing. You know all that stuff, but what I'm going to show you is some sites that are specifically designed for Wii and yeah, really going to enhance your Opera experience. Yeah, so let's get started. So to start with, this is MeTube, which, as you can tell from the logo, is based on YouTube, one of the most popular sites on the net. This is specially designed for the Wii. So this is a Wii formatted, if you like, version of the YouTube site. You can search for videos up here. You can check out the favourites down here. A really nice way of watching YouTube videos on your Wii. Stumble Video is a version of stumbleupon.com, which rather than searching for videos, you're stumbling upon them, hence the name. So if you click on a certain category here, say video games, you'll get a random video to do with that category. Then you can vote on it. Do you like it? Do you not like it? And the most popular videos tend to kind of bubble to the top. This is peakvid.com, and this is one of 3 sites I've got bookmarked with which you can watch TV shows and music videos, sometimes all kinds of things, on your Wii. So once you've clicked your category, I've clicked on the TV series here, you see all kinds of links to all kinds of TV series. These are just providing links to things like YouTube, to Google Video, so you can watch them in your browser, and yeah, you could waste quite a bit of your day catching up with all your favourite TV shows here. And here's another website that gives you access to loads of TV shows. This is alluc.org, ALLUC.org, and yeah, if we zoom in here, you can see again loads of categories, loads of TV shows, all kinds of stuff happening there. Yeah, again, they're linking to external sites, so the content isn't actually on the sites themselves, but you know, you could find this stuff by searching individual sites, but it's a nice, friendly kind of portal to some of the kind of movies and TV show footage that you might want to find. This is wehere.com, that's we and then HEAR.com. This is brilliant. They've kind of found a way of streaming radio, or getting streaming radio to work through your Wii. So they're sort of adding stations all the time. At the moment you can see they're organised into different categories. You can suggest your favourite to the site and they may well put it up. And yeah, it's just a very nice it's a very nice system here. You click on your favourite and it's very Nintendo-y, as you can see. You choose your favourite radio station, and there's a nice little mushroom power-up. Click on that and you'll listen to radio through your Wii. So this is probably one of our, if not our favourite Wii website. This is Fine-Tune, which has been reorganised for the Wii. Fine-Tune is kind of like online radio. They've got a huge store of just about every song ever made, really, every artist. And you can basically build a little playlist that have a certain number of songs, or you can listen to someone else's playlist, or you can just listen to a certain artist. So it's basically just a means to listen to all kinds of songs you like or don't like on your Wii. It's really slick interface, and yeah, we've wasted hours on this. Just, you know, you get to find new music, you know, you get to hear stuff you really like, you haven't heard for a long time. Definitely recommended. This is wiicade.com, WIICADE.com, and this is one of several sites where you can play free games. The internet sort of programming language Flash works on the Wii, which means people have been sort of making games for Wii and also picking out games that are suitable for Wii, because they're pointer based. You tend to play games that you play with just your mouse on a PC, work very well with the Wii pointer. So all kinds of games here. I'll show you this one, just an example. This is quite a nice little one called Hot Air. It does seem to be a little bit of a problem sometimes with the Wii remote. It doesn't, the flash doesn't quite pick up on what's happening, or there's something to do with the pointer that means that it doesn't quite pick up on your button presses. But yeah, get a nice little mobile phone adverts while you're loading as well. But generally it works fine. So I'll show you here this little game. In this one, you are using a fan to blow a hot air balloon around a level, trying to avoid spikes and such like. Show you it here, level 1. Very short loading times, and then yeah, you're off. So I can blow this guy across the level. So there's loads of loads of sweet little games like that that you can play on your Wii. This one's Wii Playable, which is just WiiPlayable.com. This is another website with games, Wii Playable games, as the name suggests. But what's nice about these is there are some that are playable online, so you can actually play against people. So while you're whiling away the time waiting for Pokemon Colosseum or other actual properly Wii online games. And another thing I wanted to show you here, there's a nice little art pad that you can mess around with. I don't know if the Bob Ross game is still in development. It seems to be back and forth on that, but while you wait for that, you can just use this actually rather nice little sort of game here to be creative. This is Wi-Fi.com, that's W-I-I-F-I-I. As you can see, it's another site that gives you games. They've done a quite nice sort of Wii menu style, Wii channels menu here. As you can see, there's quite a few games. You've got a version of Duck Hunt up there. What I wanted to show you was Line Rider, which is a kind of internet phenomenon as far as internet fun and games goes. So the idea of Line Rider is that you're trying to get this guy to sledge down your personally created slopes, I guess. You can draw lines, you can put in different colours, and then you just watch the guy go. As you can see, it's a little bit slow on the Wii. If you play it on a PC, it's a bit faster. This frames per second rating here shows you how bad it's getting. But this is great fun, and if you go online, you can find lots of yeah, he's dead. You can find lots of really amazing user-created levels for this little toy. It's great stuff. This is Videlectrix. The URL for this is Videlectrix with only one I, don't let that fool you, /VII/. I had a bit of trouble working out what it actually was. It's another game site, but there's some really nice, simple sort of retro games in here. I'm a big fan of Kid Speedy here. It's a very sort of Atari look about it. Yeah, there's some online play as well, just like with the other site I showed you. And yeah, you can you basically play a rather fat child. The idea is to pick up healthy goods, healthy food, by waggling the stick up and down, your Wii remote. The healthier food you collect, the faster you go. Okay, this is mapwii.com, and as it said, 10,816 Wii's mapped. This has got people putting their Wii numbers on a giant map of the world, so you can find people either near you or a million miles away from you to swap Wii codes with. It's a little bit slow, but let's have a look. Go to United Kingdom. There's 710 Wii's registered here. Let's go to us, which is we're in Bath. And it will bring up a map of the area, and it's basically powered by the kind of Google Maps engine, and those red splodges on there are basically people who have registered their Wii's, and as you can see, this is a map of Bath, so they're actually placed where they are in the world. Zoom in a little bit. That one there looks like it might even be us. Seems incredibly close to our headquarters. Yeah, really good way of finding Wii friends if you haven't got any real friends. Okay, just wanted to show you this. The URL for this is a bit complex. It's Quasimondo, QUASIMONDO.com, which is down here, /flashwiimote, all as one word, .php. It's worth going to because what it shows you is that this guy has managed to get Flash, the internet programming language, to recognize the Wii remote. All the games I showed you earlier are all controlled essentially by a mouse. You know, the Flash just thinks that the Wii remote is a mouse. You know, there's no difference as far as those websites are concerned. This is different. Not much going on here, but you can see it's actually detecting the buttons I'm pressing from the Wii remote on the left there. And there is some way to fire, but I've actually forgotten what it is. It's just a nice little demonstration of the fact that hopefully you're going to see actual Flash-powered games for Wii on the internet that maybe detect rotation and up and down and detect all the buttons. Be a great source of free games on the net if this comes to fruition. Finally, this is Clusty, which is kind of like a search engine. It's a search engine, but it works a little bit differently to something like Google. I can show you. I've tapped in the magic word Zelda here. Search for that, and as you'll see, what you get is rather than just a list of normal results, they're actually clustered. Hence the name, into different categories of search results. So you get specific Twilight Princess links, you get games, images. So clicking on any one of these will get you links relative to what that's talking about, which is a really handy way to really zero in on what you want. And it's been specially designed for Wii. The actual Wii version is at wii.clusty.com, so you can play around there.
Pick it up!
And here is where it gets serious, Katsman. The hunters are waiting for you in this area. I will not recite their names or pedigrees, but know that they are very experienced at bringing down this sort of prey. All you have to do is reach the exit on the other side. Here's where it gets serious, Katsan. The hunters are waiting for you in this area. I will not recite their names or pedigrees, but know that they are very experienced at bringing out this sort of prey. All you have to do is the exit on the other side.
Pretty boy, come up here. I have something for you. Aren't you man enough to fight me? Bad guy. Domo arigato. We can take care of ourselves now. But please hurry. Save our sisters.
only I could draw a weapon. He's gone. These wounds slow me down. I must rely on your skills once again.
Hello readers, this is Matthew.
Hi, I'm Martin.
And this is a sort of virtual console reviews roundup. We start off with baseball on the NES. Not particularly sophisticated baseball sim, this one. It's just a case of swinging away at that bat.
That does look pretty atrocious.
And it's got nothing on the Wii Sports baseball, so stay away from that one.
Donkey Kong Jr. That's a bit more like it.
And already a death in Donkey Kong Jr.
That's because every one of these games you'll see is being played by the worst games player of all time, which is Matthew.
Yeah, this one's not bad. Slightly more to it than the original Donkey Kong, which I think's on in a minute.
Oh, the original Donkey Kong's still better than this, because at least you didn't keep dying when you fall off a rope, because there were no ropes.
Yeah.
Original Donkey Kong. There he is, dear old Jumpman.
I'm actually not bad at this one.
Really?
Just jumping over the barrels. Yeah, there's some quite sophisticated barrel jumping coming up.
Oh yeah,
except for that.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, this is quite a good one.
Yeah.
Nice little slice-o retro.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the second screen on this?
No.
Didn't think so. Ice hockey, NES again.
Not bad. This one, I quite like this one. It's really, really simple, slippy all over the place. But
I like the way the puck seems to be radioactive. Makes people flash, glow.
It's
It avoids confusion. They should do that in the real sport. Do you manage to get a goal in this one?
No, I'm actually. This is my goal. I'm defending with quite a lot of skill.
Mario Brothers.
The game which is given away with just about every reiteration of Mario you could ever possibly imagine.
I wouldn't bother downloading it if you've got any other GBA remake or, the amount of times you've seen this. In improved versions as well.
Yeah, and this is so simple. It's just not enough to it, really.
There's something weird about the way his head sticks to the underside of the platforms when he jumps. Pinball. That's my sort of thing. Or at least it would be if this was a good pinball game.
Yeah, you only get this one table. It's pretty lame. Yeah.
Still, I suppose it paved the way for other things.
Other pinballing things. That's resident pinball expert Kitsy there.
I told you I knew my stuff.
This is soccer. Again, this is kind of like the ice hockey, very sort of simplified version. It's got quite a chunky feel to it, though. So I'm not the biggest football game expert, so I thought this was all right, but you beg to differ?
Well, it looks pretty. Look at that. Look at the state of it. What are they doing? Why?
Victory dance.
Why? Did you make them do that?
Yeah, I scored a goal.
Well played. Who are you playing against? Who's you're USA? You're playing against CP1. What's that?
Computer Player 1.
They don't even get a team. That's really harsh. Tennis. This is quite good, actually. There was a version of this in WarioWare Twisted, which I believe still hasn't come out in this country. But it was really, really nice with you, where you tilt the Game Boy to sort of move your player around.
That top guy looks like he's naked.
He is.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's how they played tennis in Japan. Solomon's Key.
Again, one of Greener's all-time favourites.
Yeah, it's got the picking up and making block mechanic of Mario versus Donkey Kong, March of the Minis.
But years in advance.
Yes, it's way ahead of its time.
You could say it paved the way for March of the Minis.
No Solomon's Key, no March of the Minis.
Bit of a wimpy name for a hero.
Dana.
Yeah. Oh, the original, the classic, I suppose.
Yes.
If you haven't purchased one of the many re-releases of this, or the many re-releases?
Yeah, there was NES Classics series. I think it was in Animal Crossing on the GameCube, but I may be mistaken.
Yeah.
I think if you were importing as well, you could get it on those e-reader cards. So, yeah, we've seen a lot of this.
Urban Champion. This is rubbish. Urban Champion.
It's great.
No, it's not. You just like it. It's got someone getting sort of nutted in the face
outside the snack bar.
Yeah.
It's real life. I mean, come on, look. It's night time. You're
Yeah.
outside the kebab shop. Someone's going to get hurt.
But they're so slow. You just sort of keep battering away at the punch button, hoping you land the all-important groin slash stomach punch
Just like in real life.
outside the bookstore.
No, you don't fight outside bookstores.
Don't you?
No, it's not done.
Not.
So I've heard. Wario's Woods, much more recent.
I wasn't too impressed with this one. It seems like a pretty dull kind of version of countless other droppy down puzzlers.
Are you actually controlling the little toad at the bottom?
Yeah. Toad has to sort of arrange them instead of moving the things which drop. You arrange that which is at the bottom.
Right.
And then
won.
these coins drop down. Yeah, I was quite good at that one.
Donkey Kong Country.
This is a good one. I think this is quite worth a play.
Yeah.
And it's quite beautifully animated in places, and it's got some real funky beats.
Impressive looking for an old SNES game, isn't it? It's one of the nicer looking ones.
And it's got that typical level of kind of rare stuff to pick up and collect, and
yeah, loads of animals to ride on. That's quite good.
Yeah, I said that on the last commentary, and Mark made fun of me
Really?
for commenting on how much I like riding a rhino.
That's great. Everyone needs to ride a rhino.
Exactly. Once. It's crazy.
Yeah, and they've got a swordfish and an emu. There's a frog as well. Oh, we're on F-Zero.
Yeah, this is also worth a purchase, I think. And certainly if you're a fan of the series, it's great to see its early beginnings.
This was just the most amazing looking game ever when it came out. I remember I had a Mega Drive at the time, and when I saw this running on the demo on the Japanese import SNES in the shop, I just thought, I've made a terrible mistake buying this Mega Drive, because it was just completely out of this world, the way the track sort of zoomed and scaled.
Oh, and SimCity, it's pretty good. If you're into the whole SimCity thing, I'm pretty rubbish at this game, as you can see. My town is truly ridiculous. I don't know, it might be worth waiting instead of purchasing this. Yes,
fire departments.
3 fire departments, because
a stadium and a police department and no power station, no roads.
There's a lot of fire in my town. You might want to wait for the DS version. I don't know.
I'd advise waiting for the DS version,
because that's looking to be pretty special, I think.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot more in it. All the more recent SimCities have a lot more depth.
This is fantastic. It's my personal favourite game on Virtual Console.
Really?
Yeah, this is one of the only ones I have downloaded, in fact, which I'm rubbish at, but I really like it. I'm a big fan of Castlevania.
So you've never known you'd actually played it before. Look at this.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. Well, I'm just demonstrating. I'd like to give you a taste of everything which happens in the game, including death, because it happens a lot. It's quite difficult. Yeah, you got this great kind of whippy chain swinging shenanigans.
Is this the one with the rotating tubular room?
Yes, it does indeed have the rotating tubular room.
You've got to that bit, have you?
Fine. Yes, I guess I've got to that bit. I'm not rubbish.
Okay. Probotector.
Yeah.
That's a terrible name for a game.
It is. Originally Contra 3.
Much more like it.
I believe. Really hard, this one. Incredibly difficult. You just have to be completely on your game. It throws everything at you all the time. And there's a zombie, well, not a zombie dog, but this dog eats people as well.
Does it?
Yeah, in the background.
Nice.
But here we are with Mario 64, which...
Best game ever.
Yeah?
Well, among the few.
Among the few.
that I would call best game ever.
Do you think it's worth rebuying on Virtual Console if you've played it before?
Well, no, if you played it before, then there's nothing new in there at all. If you want to play it again with something new in, then the DS version. is good, apart from the controls.
But if you've only
But if you've never played this, it's still, I think, the best 3D platformer.
Here's another pinball game for you, Pinball Wizard.
Yeah.
Alien Crush.
It's all right.
Does he get
No, like most pinball games, it's got this terrible ball physics that just make it float around everywhere and rebound in a completely kind of unrealistic, unpredictable sort of way.
Yeah, it's quite a weird design though, going with the whole kind of alien.
Yeah, the fantasy backgrounds are quite nice if you're into that sort of stuff and you like having a brain in the top left corner of your screen.
I do.
Yeah. Well,
oh, Bomberman. We like to play this in the office on occasion. It's our lunchtime game of choice. It was for a while until Kitsy started mercilessly beating us every single game. It became pretty pointless.
You can play 5 players on this, which is a nice touch.
Yeah.
So more the merrier on a Bomberman game.
It's definitely the best multiplayer game I think currently available on Virtual Console.
Yeah, there aren't that many at the moment, are there?
No. Bonk's Adventure.
Or BC Kid or PC Kid, depending on where you live or where you import it from.
I can understand BC Kid, but not PC Kid.
Well, it was PC Kid because it was on the PC
Oh,
Engine,
yeah,
and he
yeah,
was
that
the
makes
mascot. So Nintendo had Mario and Hudson had PC Kid for the PC Engine. I quite like this actually. It's I like the way he grips onto the side of things with his mouth.
This is a Dungeon Explorer.
Who turned the lights off?
I don't know, yeah, it has gone suddenly dark. That's quite strange. This is very odd dialogue in this game. People say really outrageous statements with the most sort of plainest of text. See, the devil himself is Natas. What does that even mean? Who knows? You just go in, they give you all these portents of doom. It's really strange.
Dodgy translation.
Yeah. They're like, oh, the end of the world is coming. Would you like some meat? Things like that. Yeah, very strange.
Meet him in the rear room. Military Madness.
Did you ever play this one?
Never heard of it before.
It's a bit Advance Warsy.
Really?
In that you have this grid, and then you bump into people, and then a little animation pops up, and you have that kind of see them firing on each other. In fact, it's very advanced.
And the grid's a hexagon, which is a sign of hardcore strategy gaming.
Is that a fact?
Well, yeah, some people complained about Advance Wars only having a square grid because it means you can't attack things diagonally, but it makes things a lot simpler.
Yeah.
Hexagonal stuff is brain-hurting.
This is R-Type, one of the billions of R-Type versions that's out there. I think this is the PC Engine.
That was
version.
always the best console version.
It's
There was
pretty
a good
good.
SNES console version, actually, but it had a lot of slowdown in it. Interesting fact for you there.
That was a tasty factoid.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty good. Of all the scrolly, shooty ones, it's one of the better, I think. Star
Soldier.
I'm not a big fan of this. Has the very bizarre caravan mode where you have sort of 3/5 minutes to rack up a high score. Used to be used in sort of national gaming competitions, though I'm absolutely appalling at it. So my score wouldn't warrant a single place on the leaderboard. This is Victory Run. In which I drive along incredibly slowly because I didn't realise I was in first gear and I didn't work out how to put it up the gears. This has become a great source of amusement for all at Endgamer Towers and embarrassment for me. But I'm sure if you could get the car going faster, this would probably be all right.
You might actually reach that Eiffel Tower.
It seems so slow.
Yeah, I think old racing games show their age more than pretty much any other type of game because, without scaling graphics on the side, they look rubbish. Oh, Altered Beast. Oh no. No, take it away.
Why not? But you get to play as a wolf man.
Yeah, you get to play as all sorts of animals, but the fact is none of them are any good.
Look at that. That's brilliant.
Wow.
It looks like a big mass of brown plasticine.
This was one of the ones that Sega used to sell the Mega Drive, but I can't understand how anyone actually bought the console based on this.
Yeah.
Maybe because it had larger characters than you would have got in an Amiga game.
Columns, another kind of Foley puzzler type game.
Yeah, not the best one. There's been better versions.
Well, it's just like one of hundreds of games you can get already for free on the internet and play Flash versions of. And
fair point. Although you're probably breaking numerous international laws by doing so.
Well, I'll stop there.
Yeah, I'm going to report you to Sega.
I don't want Sega after me.
Nobody wants Sega after them.
They're a dangerous bunch. And this is another Fawley puzzler, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Which is curiously pretty much the same game.
Yeah.
Puyo thingy, yeah.
Yes.
It's got the nice effect though, where the blobs sort of melt into each other.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Is it?
Yeah. Take my word for it.
Yeah. No, it does look
It's better than
cool.
Columns anyway. If you're going to download the puzzle game, this one will keep you busy a lot longer, and it won't make you feel so cheated.
You get that robot in the middle as well. That's quite good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Echo the Dolphin.
Oh yeah, I played this for many an hour back in the day. It was really nice.
Very kind of chilled.
It's chilled at the start when you're just sort of flipping around, but after a while you go into all these sort of alien caves, and there's this kind of machine underwater, and you've got a lot of swimming through tunnels with no air pockets and stuff. I mean, you'd only know that if you actually sort of dive down to the bottom of the thing.
I like to stay close to the surface where the air is plentiful.
If I remember right, you have to do the whole thing in one go as well. There isn't a save.
Really?
Although in Virtual Console, maybe you can suspend it.
Yeah. It's Golden Axe, everyone's favourite fantasy side-scrolling beat-em-up thing.
Yeah, which is notoriously, like Gauntlet, not quite as good as you remember it being.
Yeah. Nice little man you hit there for the free stuff.
Which is good, obviously.
And I think we're about to ride one of them, that thing, that big purple, pinky... What is that? It's like a dragon without wings.
Kind of Beakosaur.
Yeah.
Gunstar Heroes. You can't go wrong with this one. This is definitely worth a download if you haven't played the actually superior GBA remake.
Mm.
Although that doesn't. Yeah, this has co-op, doesn't it? The GBA one doesn't. So you can do sort of moves like picking up your friend and chucking him into people,
which is always good.
Yeah, but I think the GBA one looks a bit better.
Mm.
But this is great though. Really, really good shoot 'em up. Really well designed with some great surprises later on.
Surprises?
Yeah.
It's always good.
Yeah.
Rise Star. This Rise Star was going to be the Sega mascot at one point, I believe. No?
Yeah, see, there's some kind of Sonic connection there. He's got some moves that were
intended
for
Sonic.
They took them out. They took like the climbing and stuff like that.
Mm.
But he's not a patch on Sonic.
No, he hasn't got the attitude
of
Sonic.
Oh, he's just a star with stupid hands. This game's quite good though.
Yeah. Very nice kind of colourful, bright game.
Yeah. It was from Sega's phase when they had a lot of really Western character design.
Speak of the Devil.
There he is.
The blue spiky devil.
It's Sonic in his original outing.
Yes. This is for all those who play Sonic and the Secret Rings at some point in the future and start feeling kind of misty-eyed and nostalgic. This is worth playing. It's good for the kind of speed runs. There's something immensely satisfying about completing a Sonic level without getting bopped by a bad guy once.
But that's the problem with Sonic, though. You just sort of hold right on the D-pad and then press jump a couple of times and you finished it.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, I thought you might. What was this again?
Space Harrier 2. Do you ever play Space Harrier 2?
I played the Space Harrier games in the arcade, but I never saw the point of them on console because they never looked as good. And the whole point of it was that you sat in this great big chair and got sort of shaken around a bit.
A shaky chair.
Yeah, shaky. It was kind of tilty, shaky, hydraulic chair thing, and it was really good. And that was the point of them. Otherwise, it's just you might as well just be moving the cursor around on the screen.
And here's that absolutely dreadful death wail. He goes, ah! And then a voice says, "Get ready."
Don't ever do that death wail again.
That's one of my patented gaming impressions.
I never want to hear that again. Toe Jam and Earl. Which one's which?
I don't know. I think Earl's the red one. No, was he the big? Well, he's one of the two.
No.
This has got quite a good sense of humour to it. You pick up all these crazy power-ups and give you like mega jumpy boots and things like that. Rocket you over the side. Randomly generated levels as well.
Why does it say Toe Jam is a wiener down the bottom of the screen?
Because that's part of its crazy humour.
Ah,
you see, that's why it's zany. It's off the wall.
That's wacky, isn't it?
Oh yeah, you should definitely. If you like the wackiness of things, this is definitely.
If you like wacky, you'll love Toe Jam.
Yeah,
and
or Earl, whichever one he hears. Well,
Link to the Past. Unless I'm very much mistaken.
No, it is Link to the Past. You are correct.
Good.
It's good to see you can identify one of the all-time Nintendo classics when you see one.
No, don't call me gaming expert for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, this is
it's top stuff. This top stuff. You're right at the start, and you're not even going to get inside the castle, are you? So
no.
No, you're just kind of wandering around the side. Do you go down the other side after a little while? No, you don't get that far. It's great if you haven't played it. Just get it.
Equally fantastic.
Super Mario World. Oh, I love this game.
Did you say it was one of the best in the last issue? One of the best games ever made?
I think it is. Yeah, it's certainly the best 2D platformer as far as I'm concerned. Did you know there's a run button that makes you run faster, and so you can actually jump places? Did you? No, you didn't fancy that?
I did play this, but I forgot buttons.
Okay.
My memory's not what it used to be.
Oh, Mario, that's great though.
Street Fighter 2.
Yes, Street Fighter.
You don't sound too keen.
No, I paid a fortune for this back in the day. I think the cartridge was about 80 quid.
What?
Plus, I got charged 10 quid for writing a cheque that took me over my overdraft limit when I was a student. And so it was 90 quid this cost me. And I played it loads and loads and loads. But after that, I sort of decided I didn't really like fighting games.
Oh.
Because I was no good at them.
This is Biohazard Battle. The downwards diagonal scrolling side-scrolly shooty thing on the Mega Drive.
Is it diagonal downwards scrolly all the way?
Well, as much as I've played,
level 1 is diagonal scrolling.
It's insect themed. That's the interesting thing of note. You get to shoot some disgusting flies.
Yeah, they're not very nice, are they?
No, and that's good. That's a good thing.
Hmm.
Bonanza Brothers. Or Bonanza Bros.
This is good, is it not?
Yeah, it is. It's really kind of. There's really nothing else like it. This kind of sort of bizarre sneaking around, stealing games.
I love the art style.
Yeah, it's not. It reminds me of like little, like almost Playmobil or something.
It's a simultaneous 2-player thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely. Greener thinks this heralded in the stealth game. Apparently.
Really?
Yeah, that's his bold claim.
Okay. Well, yeah, check it out for a bit of gaming history.
Yep. This is Comic Zone, which is, I think, really ace. Really good stuff.
Hey, you're fighting within the panels of a comic.
And conceptually, this is completely off the wall, and I've not seen anything quite like it.
Remind me which format this was on?
This is a Mega Drive game.
Mega Drive.
Yeah. Yeah, with this panel stuff and all the thwacks and little speech bubbles coming out of them.
It's ace. Maybe I shouldn't have sold the Mega Drive when the SNES came out.
Yes. This is Double Dungeons. If you really want a dungeon-themed exploring game on the PC Engine, which this is, you should really go for the other dungeon game, which is called Dungeon Explorer. That's the one. This is just a sort of rather boring maze trawler.
Fighting hornets, I see.
Hornets, yes. Dastardly hornets.
Oh, and a blob of green slime. Oh, I didn't get to see that.
New Adventure Island
on
the PC Engine.
I always quite like these games for some reason. I don't know. It's the kind of the slickness of them and the way he gets on his skateboard.
It's a bit bonk-like.
No, it's not.
You don't think it is? Well, it's nothing like side-scrolling platformer PC engine.
It's not a side-scrolling platformer. It's more of a racing sort of thing because you're constantly moving and you can't go back.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that was a really naive comparison then. Anyway,
it's good though. I like it.
Yeah. This is Soldier Blade, which I think is quite like Superstar Soldier, and the sort of unique little twist you get with this is that you build up a little squadron of planes who follow you around and help blast things.
This looks exactly like what was it called? Vertical Force or something like that on the Virtual Boy. Virtua Boy.
Oh. Yeah, fair enough.
Yes, sorry.
Yes. This is Gradius on the NES. It's so basic compared to the other scrollers, and that's really saying something. I mean, visually as well, it's no looker. It's probably worth going with R-Type on the PC Engine if you really want a slice of this kind of thing. And this is NES Tournament Golf, which is a fun slice of Mario theme. I don't know if it is actually... Yes, it is Mario, but he doesn't look quite right, because for one, he's in pink dungarees, which is a bit odd.
That's wrong.
It's got a... It's all right. The courses in this, are they not the courses in Wii Sports Golf?
I believe they are, or at least some of them.
Yeah.
This has a lot more courses than Wii Sports.
That's okay.
Spy vs. Spy. A 2-player game where you go around setting traps for the other spy, which is actually a lot better in theory than in practice. You set up things like behind doors, and when the other spy kind of walks in, he gets splattered, and you go ho ho ho, and then go off and get the briefcase that you're supposed to be finding. But it's really hard to find your way around.
Yeah. And this is Xevious. I don't know how that's pronounced. Xevious?
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 I don't know. Xevious, I would have
Where I think it looks like you're shooting polos. These little things that look like polos.
Yeah.
Or the giant plastic polo, which the mini polos used to come in, to be precise.
I've never tried a mini polo.
No? Well...
But I've shot a few.
Yes.
In Xevious.
Yeah. This isn't much copy either. It's a bit...
No,
basic.
It's not up to the arcade version, really. Oh, Zelda 2. Yes, the worst of all Zeldas. The one,
so?
Yeah. Well, they never went back to this this style of sort of Final Fantasy overworld with side-scrolly, rubbish-looking towns and things like that. They never did that again because I think they realised it was a terrible, terrible mistake.
As was my terrorising of this old lady in the village.
Yes.
This is a Chu Man Fu, which sort of obscure ball rolling title where you have to roll these balls onto the coloured pads. But actually, it controls really well because this little manoeuvre, being able to move the balls around the corner, makes it incredibly smooth. So it's actually a pretty good puzzler. I quite enjoyed this one. And it's got this really bizarre story about this evil Chu Man Fu guy sort of terrorising you in some way by putting these balls on these pads. You're going to mess him up. I don't know how. This is Vigilante on the PC Engine. An incredibly basic, you walk along, you're trying to save your girlfriend. But it's brilliant. It's got this real chunky, over-the-top cartoony feel. There's something about the animation. It reminds me of some of the more basic sort of kids' cartoons on TV today.
Is this the one where some guy comes and holds you by the shoulders and stabs you in the stomach?
Yeah, I believe so. It's quite horrific. But this kind of sort of nunchuck action was pretty good. That is a nunchuck, isn't it? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm doing pretty well until... Oh, here we go. Oh, stomach gutting.
Not nice.
No. This is Moto Roder, the popular PC Engine, bit Micro Machines-esque.
Is this the formation lap or something? When does it speed up?
No, it doesn't. This is the thing. You've got to run away from the tracks moving along. If you get caught up behind that black barrier, you die. But the thing is, you have to power up your car at the beginning of the race. And at the beginning of the game, your car doesn't have an engine. You can start this game and your car will not move because it lacks an engine. It's ridiculous. It's really hard.
It's high concept.
Yeah, very hard. Maybe it's just me being rubbish. I don't know. This is Game Ground on the Mega Drive. You ever played Game Ground? Never
played Game Ground.
You've just got to clear these maps. And the kind of unique little thing here is that every time you die, you get to select which player you come back as. And you've got 20 different characters.
With different weapons.
Different weapons, yeah. That top-down thing. Reminds me a bit of the Chaos Engine, which I did play on the Mega Drive.
It's a sort of Ikari Warriors on one screen.
Yeah. And last but not least, Streets of Rage on the Mega Drive.
Streets of Rage.
Where you're so hard that you eat apples off the street. just then.
Bits of chicken as well.
Yeah, and a little broken glass bottle.
Yeah, you can smash the bottle over someone.
It's quite violent.
And then stab them in the face with the pointy end.
It's got that Mega Drive attitude that the SNES did.
It's got really good music as well.
That's it.
Long ago, in the mists of time, there existed a world where pure water and green forests flourished. On its beautiful land lived the fairies, who gathered around the elder tree. All was at peace, until one day, evil Dawn Hedron appeared. Along with the fairies, the elder tree fought back by giving birth to a droplet with enchanted powers. After a long and fierce battle, they were finally able to restore the land back to its original form. A long time had passed since then. Then came a day when the black water once again came falling and started to pollute the world with even greater force than before. With much of its power lost, the elder tree put forth all its strength. And gave birth to a tiny droplet, our last hope.
The first question we always get is how are the Wii's unique controls integrated into Armageddon? The Wii Remote and Nunchuck controller are used together, giving you total control of your character. But the most exciting aspect of this is performing super moves and fatalities using motions on the Wii Remote. The traditional joypad and button combinations have been replaced with simple swing motions on the Wii Remote, making them easier to perform than ever before. So easy, in fact, that even your grandmother will be throwing spears, teleporting, and doing fatalities on you. But there's really no better way to explain how the Wii controls work than to just show you. So let's start with some familiar examples. We'll begin our demonstration using my favorite character, Scorpion. Throwing Scorpion's spear has never been easier. Just swing away, then towards your opponent. This circular motion is all you need to do to perform Scorpion's backflip kick. Moving on to Sector, you can see how simple it is to perform his teleport move with just an up-down motion. And his flamethrower and rocket projectile moves are just as easy. In addition to this new way of controlling your characters with the Wii Remote, Armageddon also supports the more traditional control schemes, like the Wii's classic controller as well as the GameCube controller. And as you can guess, the Wii controls are also used to string together Mortal Kombat's creative fatalities.
Finish him! Scorpion wins.
Some days, I like to play cards. There are times I like to play with words. Other days, I like to shoot some hoops. Touchmaster on the Nintendo DS always has a game that fits your mood. Midway is proud to introduce an exclusive collection of 23 games designed to take full advantage of the touchscreen on the DS. Play classic card games like Solitaire, Target 21, Three Peak Deluxe, and more. Test your skills with strategy games like Pawn King, Mahjong Pairs, Artifact, and Maki. Quiz yourself with word search, words, and trivia with more than 20,000 questions. Go for the all-out basketball action of Hot Hoops. And of course, all of Touchmaster's multiplayer games can be played one-on-one via Wi-Fi. Touchmaster, exclusively for the Nintendo DS. Coming June 2007. This title not yet rated.
訪問解析により国籍不明の艦隊の中に我が方の新型
おおよそつかめました。ユニオン地上軍がこれに向けて進撃バルトの支援に急行中。戦闘ヘリと陸上部隊だけが残されている状況です。ここに強襲をかけます。敵と戦闘状態に入ります。ロックオン。Fox 2 fight.
Destroy!
敵機撃墜を確認。
When we started out, we wanted to avoid blip killing, locking onto a radar blip and then destroying it. It's not really that much fun. You get to see the blip, you wait, and you wait some more until you get lock, and then you fire. And you see the missile go out, and then it disappears from view. Bang, got him. What's cooler and immensely more exciting and just simple fun is when you get to see the target and see it explode. And if that happens up close, now that rules. And that's exactly what we do with our impact cams. We bring the action up close and personal. There are dozens of handcrafted destruction sequences, all triggered on key kills to show off the fruits of your explosive labours. All up close, in slow-mo, using every particle effect we can lay our hands on. Bullet time, full-screen blurs, burns, shakes. All of these effects are deployed to make our in-game impact cams exciting, rewarding and enjoyable. Check them out. Heatseeker's impact cams turns air combat into an action movie.